Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Again, we're here with this 1986 Yamaha YZ that I picked up, that my wife had picked up for me. In today's episode, we're going to do a quick little rundown to see sort of some of the parts that I might need, remove some of the plastic, and potentially drain the oil, give the rad a quick flush, and clean the carb, and basically just all around clean it up, so and maybe we can get it prepped for a fire up. So but first we're going to start off by removing some of this plastic, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. To remove the seat, you got to take two bolts out from underneath here, and then you have two bolts to remove the rear fender. So I'm not too sure what the YZ80 has, because these looks like somebody's done it after. So I'll quickly remove those. Rear mud flap, one bolt. Move the exhaust. So we're not going to move the airbox. It's too hard to get out of here where it is. You'd have to remove the monoshock to get it out through the back, I think. So we'll just take the air filter out. We'll wash inside there. Oh my goodness. After 15 years, apparently, according to that guy, this is what a 15-year-old air filter looks like. What a mess. Garbage. They had it zap strapped on there. Now you got a 10mm bolt on this side, 10mm bolt on this side, and then usually you're supposed to have a strap right here that holds the tank down, but mine's missing. So we'll rip that off. Tank's off, just like that. So I decided I'm going to take all the plastic off. I'm going to take out, there's 4 bolts under here, under the fender, and then this was just zap strapped on, so just cut those off. Okay, now that we got all the plastic removed, I'm going to drain the oil and see how much oil is actually in the crankcase. A lot of times these guys, they fill them up way too much. So to drain the oil, there is looks like a 12mm bolt back here that you'll undo, and the oil should come out. And let's take a look and see sort of how it looks. Well, as you can see, there's no oil in there right now. The guy could have done that before. He was in the process of rebuilding it, so hopefully that's all it is. So I'm just going to flush a little bit of oil through it and see if any more oil comes out or how dirty the oil is. Okay, let's take a look in the radiator, see if there's any water in there. No water in there, so we'll try draining it. see if we have to leave the cap off. I guess it'll help drain it. And then we'll see. We'll undo this bolt right here and see if any water comes out. This guy's made a makeshift gasket. Well, it doesn't look too bad for antifreeze in there, that's for sure, coming out. You're gonna want to tilt it over to get all of it out. The antifreeze is out. I'm just going to cover up some holes like the exhaust down in here with a bag and a bag here, and give this a good rinse down and clean all that grime off of it with a pressure washer. And then we'll do the carburetor in this video, but then I think I'll do another video on, we'll inspect the water pump and also the reeds on the intake. So I clean the carburetor. First off, you'll need some gloves. Working with gas, I got a little bit of flack from a few of my followers in my last video where I didn't have gloves, so this time I've got some gloves for cleaning my carb. You're going to need some carb cleaner of some kind. You're going to need a brush, an air tool to be able to blow out some of the vents or the piping and stuff like that in the carburetor, and any other thing that you may need to take this thing apart. So looks like we need some Phillips screwdrivers to pull that apart, and a flathead for that screw there, and a crescent wrench to take that apart, but we'll take that apart after. So let's get started. So we're going to take off these side vents first. You just pull out of here. And then we'll do the screws on the bottom. I'm gonna try to save this gasket. It's kind of old. I'm not gonna rebuild it yet. I'm just gonna see if I can clean it to get it going. Take out the idle screw. Next, we're going to take the float off. You just push the screw out. Gentle tap, don't break it. And there'll be a little, kind of like a little pin that'll fall out. Just like that. And then we'll take off the jets. Can't really, so when you're looking at these, you should be able to see all the way through it. I can see all the way through it, but we're still going to clean it. You're going to want to make sure all these holes are unclogged. You can see that one right there sort of is not really unclogged there. So it's got a little bit of debris in that one little, it might be right there. It's hard to show you. Oh no, that was just something that was there. Looks very dry in all of these orifices. And down in here, you can see it. There's another jet in here. You just need a little small flathead screwdriver to take that one out. Take your choke screw out. got good spring, so it should work fine. Just all gummy. You can feel it. So now I'm just going to clean up these parts with a little bit of gas. I'm going to pour some gas in here and just kind of let things soak. Get a toothbrush and brush all of this, and spray some carb cleaner in each one of these holes, and that way I can let it sit, and any clogging hopefully will unclog, and clean it all around all the way up. So just take a brush and clean it all up. This is already a dirty, you can see a little bit of dirt coming off, grime. So that should start to show you there. Should spring in and out. Let's make sure that's not seized. And like I said, I will spray some. You can see through it there, so it's not clogged. You can see through that one too. It's hard to see, but you can sort of see through that pilot. Okay, so now I'm going to spray some carb cleaner in all the little holes. Don't blow too hard because it will squirt everywhere. Alright, well there seems to be air going through on each orifice, so now I'll just wipe it down and blow out all the excess to make sure nothing's blocked. We'll do a quick carb cleaner in each of the jets and then put it back together. Okay, so now we're just going to blow out all the little holes and make sure there's nothing blocking it. So obviously you're going to want to have some safety glasses on for this because you just never know where it's going to go. Holes is these all the oil and stuff, so it's time to put this back together. Okay, you can see the float's got some spring to it. I always like to do these up opposite to each other so that it goes down nice and evenly. Pilot screw, well, I believe I have to look at the manual. I think you go all the way in and then out a quarter turn. I can't remember it. I have to look at the manual. I don't have a manual for it yet, but I'll get a manual before so I can adjust this properly. And I believe you also, when you set your idle screw, if you look in here, there's you'll see it start protruding out through the bottom, right there. Right there, and that there is you just when you have the sleeve in there, you should just barely lift the throttle sleeve up a little bit, and that should be properly adjusted. And then you just adjust it when you're adjusting it from when you're running it. So that wraps it up on cleaning the carburetor. Hopefully this is helpful for some of you guys that have never taken apart a carburetor. It is fairly basic. I mean, you can easily take this apart yourself, clean it. A lot of things you'll look for is like, if you saw a little bit in there, there's like a green varnish that'll sometimes, or like kind of a goldy colored varnish will form on, especially in the bowl itself. That will be a huge indicator that you have a carb issue. Especially if you've let it sit for quite some time. So make sure you clean that, and if your bike isn't running correctly, this is usually a good place to start, is right on just pull the carb off and clean it. It's all clean. As you can see, I took some degreaser and really scrubbed it really well in there. Carburetor's back in there at the moment, just temporarily because I'm gonna have to take it out. But I think that's gonna do it for this video. In the next video, we're going to check the reeds, maybe replace the gasket there. We're going to check the water pump, replace the gasket here, and a few O-rings. What else we're going to do? We should probably look at the stator cover and replace a few bolts down in here that should be in proper order. I am a little bit concerned about the clutch at this point because it doesn't seem to be disengaging, but we'll see. As you can see, I kind of didn't record it, but I custom made this little shifter because the shifter that was on there was all stripped. So I put it in a vise, heated it up, and bent it so that it would work properly. Now it's working. It should work pretty good that way, but what I'm worried about is when it's in gear with no oil in there. I'm not too sure if that would affect it, but it won't disengage. It doesn't roll freely with it in gear, even with the clutch pulled in. So we'll see. I guess we'll fire it up first, get it running, and then if I have to, I'll take apart the crankcase and pull the clutch out of it. So if you want to see the future videos in regards to this rebuild, definitely hit the subscribe button, like and share the video, and if you like this video, check out my son's PW50, which is just over here. I rebuilt that. That's also on my channel, and also my WR250R. So thanks for watching.